picked up. Kovac has Zay. Got him.
Oh, my.
It's a foot race to the pylon, and Zay's going to win it.
The best player at the East-West Shrine Bowl was a wide receiver out of Boston College, a guy that started 4 years for the Eagles and was a two-time All-ACC player. I'm, of course, talking about Zay Flowers out of Boston College. This video is presented by Miller Lite. I'm Ken Swanson here with my guy, Sean Barber. Man, Zay Flowers, I tell you what, he's one of the most fun prospects in this draft for me.
Yeah, I like he's a complete receiver. He was actually my number one receiver going into the combine, but he wasn't my number one coming out. So there's some things, some holes in his game that I hope he gets filled. I kind of relate to Zay Flowers as being a poor man's Percy Harvin. He can do everything on the field you need, but when it comes to those big moments, I'm a little bit concerned about his competition level coming from BC and how that's going to translate to the NFL.
There's a lot to like about what Zay Flowers put on tape. He's a dynamic athlete. He's a good player with the ball in his hands. He's actually shown some ability to play a little bit bigger than he is at 5'9". He's a unique prospect. Let's take a look at some of the tape and some of the reasons to like him.
Flowers back on the field. Pressure comes. Flowers underneath, across the middle, and Flowers down the sideline for a touchdown.
Zay Flowers might be one of the most dynamic playmakers in this entire draft class.
I like Zay. I think he has a great upside. My comp to him in the pros is a Percy Harvin. Earlier in the draft, I comped him as a young Antonio Brown because I think his running style, always under control, always his shiftiness, everything he's doing is always like he already is predetermined what he's doing, and now he's setting up the next tackler. He already made the first tackler miss, so he's trying to do whatever he has to do to get to that end zone. Highly productive college player on a team that's probably not known for a vertical passing game. He created one. He's what you call a creator, innovator. He's an awesome threat as a wide receiver, and I think BC did a great job of trying to find unique ways to get him the ball.
I like your Antonio Brown comp, I think, a little bit more than the Percy Harvin, because I do think that there's a little bit more, in him as a downfield receiver, as a guy with a more complete route tree. I think you're even when you're watching these highlights, you're seeing him win at all levels of the field. You're seeing the short area quickness on a whip route. You're seeing him track the football, from the spot on the vertical. Now, I don't know how much you're going to ask him to try to beat press, but I think you see the versatility in what he's able to do short to intermediate and down the field, but also just getting the ball in his hands. Like I just think there's a lot of ways to use him. I think there is like a hybrid Antonio Brown Percy Harvin to him, because I don't know how many times Percy Harvin was doing that down the field.
Yeah, Percy was always he did most of his damage about 5 yards, but a lot of the reverse, I don't know if he has the ability to punt return, but you can only imagine with his elusiveness and his foot speed and his quickness. Obviously, he's a powerful, strong runner, and then his balance and coordination. All of those things can make him a very unique weapon if you have an offensive quarterback and offensive coordinator that can find ways to get him the ball in space. I don't think any team can go wrong by drafting Zay Flowers. I think I see him going early in the first round.
Yeah, I think he's a first-round prospect all day, and I see some of his ability, with his release package off the line of scrimmage and those quick feet. He does a really good job, at the line of scrimmage. I think, setting himself up for success, throughout the route. But yeah, you can see you can get him on some of these underneath stuff. There's a very clear path to success early for him. And I think it's something that you can continue to build on as he progresses, as he gets, more developed in the NFL level. I think there's, traits to show winning in the short area and down the field. That's really tempting for me. Some people have him as wide receiver 1 in their draft class. I don't argue that at all. I think there's reasons I could see having this guy as your top receiver.
When we watch the film, we see a guy who is super confident in his hand. Every ball is being caught so confidently. There is no second thought about this ball not being caught. That allows him to transition from the catch into the run after the catch seamlessly, and that's tough to defend all over the field. And he's making it well known that he's a threat all across the field, vertical, horizontal, reverses, any way you can try to find a way to get him the ball. He's definitely a threat.
He checks a lot of the boxes that you look for at the NFL receiver spot. Maybe he doesn't, he's not necessarily the biggest guy, but a lot of important, traits he has: tracking the football, catching the ball away from his frame. Obviously, just because of his size, his catch radius isn't going to be the biggest, but I think he plays up beyond just his measurables too. I think he's a very fun prospect that can win in a lot of different areas. I would want to see him in the AFC West, and I'd love to see him on the Chiefs if I'm being honest. That's wide receiver Zay Flowers out of Boston College.